Hey guys, Miss Terrell here. I want you to meet a couple of my pets. This one over here, this little guy is Cleo, and this is Hoover. Now, they got really tired. They were studying these Pokemon cards right here in the middle, but it was really tiring. So I think they're taking a nap. All right, no napping for you guys. It's time to study. We're going to study hard. You're going to take some awesome notes. Get ready to learn about the Pythagorean theorem. All right, let's go. All right, so let's check out this little cartoon over here. You may be right, Pythagoras, but everyone's going to laugh if you call it a hypotenuse. All right, what in the world are they talking about? All right, this guy right here, he is Pythagoras, and he is the father of this theorem we're going to talk about. And these guys they're trying to make fun of him because they're talking about this right triangle right now. And they're saying that one of the sides is a hypotenuse. All right, that's always going to be your longest side in a right triangle. So to find that, you're going to find the right angle, marked with the little box over here, and go directly across. All right, this side is the hypotenuse. All right, a weird name, but that's what we got to learn. Hypotenuse, across from the right angle. All right, these other two sides are called legs. So you have a leg here and a leg here. All right, now for the Pythagorean theorem, we're always going to call one leg A, the other leg B, and the hypotenuse C. And then you get this famous theorem by old Pythagoras here that says if you have a squared plus b squared, it will always equal c squared. Another way to think of that, leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. All right, we've got our first problem here. Find the hypotenuse of the right triangle with legs 3 and 4. All right, so the first thing, you've got to draw a picture. All right, so here's a right triangle. We're going to have our right angle here. It says the legs are 3 and 4. So I'm going to have one side 3, one side 4, and it says find the hypotenuse. All right, so remember, across from the right angle. This is your hypotenuse. This is the one you're going to find. All right, we're going to label the legs. All right, so I'm going to call this side A, this side B, and I want the hypotenuse, which is C. All right, next step, you're going to write the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so we're going to substitute in our values. All right, over here we have the first leg. The first leg is 3, so I got to plug in 3 squared plus the next leg, 4 squared equals, all right, I'm trying to find the hypotenuse. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to leave a c. All right, now you got to evaluate. Remember order of operations. You got to do your exponents first. So 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared. All right, what is it? 4 squared, you got it, 16 equals c squared. All right, now you're going to add to get 25 equals c squared. All right, what's the opposite of a squared problem? You're going to take the square root. All right, so we get c equals, the square root of 25 is exactly 5 because that's one of your perfect squares. All right, you are done. See, the hypotenuse is 5. All right, next example. Find the other leg of a right triangle with hypotenuse 8 inches and a leg length of 4 inches. Find the exact answer and round it to the hundredths. All right, so you're learning a couple of different things here. All right, so we're going to start with our right triangle. Hypotenuse is 8 and a leg length of 4. So I'm going to sort of try to draw that a little bit to scale. So let's say that maybe this is 4 inches. The hypotenuse, it's double that. So let's estimate that about 8 inches. And then you have another leg. All right, so this is what we're trying to find this time. All right, so let's label what we have. Hypotenuse, that's going to be your C, across from the right angle. You've got one leg is 4, so that's A, and it says you're finding the other leg, which is B. Right, so you're going to label that as B. All right, let's start with what is our formula whenever you have a right triangle. This works when you know two sides of a right triangle, okay? So it tells you it's a right triangle. All right, now let's try plugging in our numbers. All right, so A is a leg, all right? So we know this leg over here is 4, so we're going to plug in 4 squared plus, all right, B, that's what we're trying to find. So you're going to leave it as B squared, all right, equals C squared, the hypotenuse. All right, we have that is 8, so 8 squared. All right, now, Hoover, 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 come here. Hoover, what are you doing? Gosh, Hoover is going deaf. Come here, Hoover. You want to say hi to everybody? Say good morning. Say good morning. Oh, yeah, that's a good girl. Okay, so Hoover says that 4 squared is 16. She had to bring me my calculator. Didn't know what was going on there. All right, plus B squared equals, all right, 8 squared is 64. All right, now we're solving this time for B squared. All right, so we got to get it by itself. So subtract 16 from both sides, and B squared equals 48. All right, so now you've got to get down to find your B. So you've got to square root both sides. All right, now I'm going to come over here because I'm running out of room. All right, so we now have B equals the square root of 48. All right, now I'm going to go back and read my problem. It says it wants the exact answer and rounded to the hundredths. All right, so exact means you're going to leave a radical in your answer. All right, so here, you're going to break it down. Remember those perfect squares. The biggest perfect square that goes into 48 is going to be 16. So 16 times 3 is 48. All right, then you're going to break it down. 16 square root times the square root of 3. All right, and then finally, we're going to have the square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 3 cannot be simplified any farther, so you get B equals 4 square root of 3, and we're in inches. All right, this is your exact value. Exact. Now, it also asks for the value to the hundredths. All right, so that's going to go on your calculator. That's an approximate answer. All right, so pull out your calculator. Don't cheat. You've got to do it first. You've got to plug it in first. All right, so square root of 48, rounded to the hundredths. All right, so just a quick review on rounding to the hundredths. I have on my calculator 6.928. This is the hundredths place, the 2. In the thousandths place, I have an 8. That's bigger than 5. So this is going to round up to the hundredths place. B is approximately 6.93 inches. All right, last problem is a real life application. Baseball diamond. All right, baseball diamond right here. Diamond, that is a square. It says the sides of the square are 90 feet. What is the shortest distance, exact and to the nearest tenth this time, make sure you're reading directions, of a foot between first and third base? All right, here's first. Here is third over here. All right, so since this is a right angle here, and you're trying to find this distance across from first to third, here's third base over here, you are looking for the hypotenuse across from the right angle. All right, so we know, it tells you in the problem here, the sides are 90 feet. So you have 90 and 90. What are these called? Say it. What is it? It's the leg. All right, so A and B are both 90, and we're looking for the hypotenuse. All right, let's start it out. Plug it in. All right, we've got A squared, so 90 squared, plus 90 squared equals C squared. All right, 90 squared, 8,100 plus 8,100 equals C squared. All right, I'm going to show you an awesome little trick. 2 times 8,100 equals c squared. Square root it. All right, this is a perfect square, the 8100. So square root of 8100 is 90, and then you still have under the radical square root of 2. All right, now you want to put that as your exact answer, 90 square root of 2 feet. Well, you're not going to tell anyone that if they want the distance. You got to plug it in your calculator. All right, so I'm going to type in 90 times the square root of 2. And our final answer is approximately 127.3 feet between first and third base. All right, that's your intro review of Pythagorean theorem, and we will practice it in class.